Dr. Rino Salman is a research fellow from Indonesia at the Earth Observatory of Singapore. He researches on earthquakes in Southeast Asia by utilizing satellite data. Today, Dr. Rino joins us to explain earthquakes in Sumatra. Stay until the end to hear why Dr. Rino decided to become an earth scientist. Thanks so much for joining us, Rino. Can I start off by asking a fundamental question? How do earthquakes even happen?
A simple analogy of how earthquakes happen is snapping your fingers. When you push them together, the fingers will resist to move because of the friction. And then you can imagine these two fingers as the Earth's plates. And then when you push them hard enough, then it will release, and then you get a snap. We can differentiate three sources of earthquakes based on their relative motion each other. The first one is so-called strike-slip mechanism, where one plate moves past each other. And then the second one is so-called normal fall, where one plate moves downward relative to the other one. The last one is thrust fault, where one plate moves upward relative to the other plate.
So Rino, what about the 2004 event that everyone knows about? Which of the three causes you mentioned just now was the cause of the earthquake in 2004?
The 2004 earthquake was due to the thrust mechanism, where in the scientific community we called it the Sunda Megathrust. It was on December 2004, ruptured the 600-kilometer long section of the Sunda Megathrust. 3 months later, to the south of 2004 earthquake, there was a magnitude 8.6 NIAS earthquake. And then to the south of 2005 earthquake, there is so-called Mentawai segment. So this segment, the southern half of the segment ruptured in 2007 earthquake, but today the northern half of the segment has not been broken. So we call it Mentawai seismic gap.
So if a large earthquake happens at this seismic gap that you just described, right? How bad would it be and how does it impact Southeast Asia as a region?
The Mentawai seismic gap has the capability of producing large magnitude 8 plus earthquakes. In 2022, there was a magnitude 6 earthquakes occurred near this region, and then people in Singapore felt the shaking. A magnitude 8 earthquakes is actually 1,000 more energy released compared to magnitude 6 earthquake. So imagine the impact to the local people.
I understand that you grew up in Sumatra. Do you mind telling me about your experiences growing up in the hazard-prone region? How does it feel like?
I experienced one earthquake in 1994. I still remember that was around 8 p.m. at night, and then I was alone at that time. The light bulb swaying.
Oh.
And then I was so afraid. I thought, oh, there's a ghost here. And then the second time was about the 2004 earthquakes. I was not close enough to Aceh region, but I was in Palembang, hundreds of kilometers away from the epicenter of 2004 earthquakes. The third one was in 2018. I was in Malang, in the eastern region of Java at that time, and then that was at night. I was in a hotel with my family, and then suddenly I felt the tremors. Even though I was a PhD student studying earthquakes like that at the time, the experience was still, unforgettable.
So can I ask, how did you get into, what inspired you to get into earth sciences?
Yeah, the motivation started in 2009. That was during the time I searched for literature when I was writing my final year project. I found that at that time there were lacking of local people who study these very active tectonic regions.
Like local Indonesian scientists?
Indonesian scientists. And then that was the time when I think I need to pursue more, and then being one of the leading scientists in these topics.